Let's break down some of what we just heard. Attorney Donald Papcsy is here with me now. So, look, I mean, we were saying just a few minutes ago on the Daily Debrief, for those who watched it, that this was not exactly an awe-inspiring closing. And I'm wondering, you know, is the defense just kind of mentally giving up? Because the defense is trying to unshovel from out underneath the weight of the testimony of the son getting up there and saying, Dad stabbed Mom to death, and I heard my mom's last words. That's really, really hard to get out from underneath, but they still at least have to try.
That's exactly right. And it's not a surprise. You know going into this trial, or he knows going into this trial, that this is the way that the evidence is going to come out. You know all the evidence before you step into the courtroom, so you have to be prepared to give a more compelling defense than I feel like he's getting in this case. Because you know what the testimony is going to be before you get in the courtroom, pretty much. So you should be prepared to have something to say on his behalf. You have to create a defense. That's what we get paid to do, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, look, I agree with that completely. I mean, we're in complete agreement here. We're preaching to one another. So, right. You know, my next question is, what kind of client is this guy? Because at one point, the prosecution offered him a 30-year plea deal. Well, he's not a very old man, so he would. If he had taken it, gotten out of prison when he was, you know, in his 60s, that's not a horrendous deal. That's actually a pretty good deal when you consider the number of wounds that the victim suffered here. One of the analyses said 40-some stab wounds, and then the prosecutor is adding in some other apparent injuries on closing argument. So, gosh, I mean, he's making this go to trial? Why?
For maybe a number of reasons. It could just be his personality. I think there was a point when he was arguing with the judge that he didn't feel like his public defender or the lawyer had his best interests at heart, was that maybe asking him to even change counsel or something like that. Sometimes you just have those clients that just say, nope, I don't care, I'm not taking the offer, we're going forward. And as much as you could say to try to change their mind, they just don't listen to you.
They just go along. Okay, let's listen to more of those closing arguments from the defense. We're talking about the Jeremiah Monell case out of New Jersey.
Again, the bits of the puzzle simply don't fit one another. And it's the state's obligation to prove to you each and every element of every charged offense beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, what's reasonable doubt? I'll tell you a little story. 2010, I was courting my wife to be, who would become my wife. She had 2 lovely daughters. I was game to impress her. Near Christmas time, I bought all of us tickets to The Lion King on Broadway. And I'm all excited to believe it. And we get up and load up the car. We're doing 175 down the Parkway. I probably get into Ocean County, and I'm gripped with fear. Terrified. Pull off the Parkway onto the grass. Get out of the car and rifle through my pockets. Did I forget the tickets on the counter? That was a reasonable doubt. That's what the state has to do. They have to prove each and every element of the offense that's charged against Jeremiah Monell beyond a reasonable doubt. And if they get you there, and I don't think they do, we still have to go a step further. This was a gruesome, bloody scene. This is a body with 49 stab wounds. You saw, I can't make you unsee the pictures. The throat was sliced. There's no doubt about it. Whoever did this, they were passionate about something. They were passionate about something. Now, I want you to remember the testimony of Paige Johnson. He strutted up here and told you what a no-good scoundrel Jeremiah Monell is. He told you that on the night, the evening that this event happened, that Tara Monell and Jeremiah Monell were out in front of the 7901 Raymond Drive, and they were in an argument. They were in a heated fight. And he allegedly called her all kinds of filthy words and had her up against the trailer. Apply your common sense to the equation, folks. Go back to that evidence. 2 knives. One knife only has Tara Monell's DNA. The other knife, Tara Monell, is the major contributor. Jeremiah Monell, perhaps, is a minor contributor. So is every other African American on the planet, 50% of Caucasians. What happened? Young Jeremiah did not see this whole event happen. He didn't see all that occurred. So what is it that he didn't see that he was unable to tell you? Was there a fight? Did Jeremiah Monell actually act in self-defense? I don't know. Those questions are left open for you to answer. When you go back there and you deliberate, you go over this evidence that you've been presented with, you consider it carefully, and you fulfill your duty, I'm confident that you'll come back with a verdict of not guilty. Thank you.
Those were the tail end of closing arguments in the Jeremiah Monell case. From the defense, Donald Papcsy is here with me. Donald, the defense went first. The prosecution went second this time around. I'm not feeling any sense of passion or urgency or even logic after listening to that.
No, I felt a little bit better. I got to be honest. I felt a little bit better, Aaron, about this particular part, because at least he's guiding the jury down a different path. Hey, look, the child, we understand. I can't have you unsee the pictures and all that. But there are things that are left that he wasn't there the entire time. Maybe there was an argument. Maybe there was something that led to it being something other than a murder charge, maybe leading them towards a manslaughter or something like that.
Yeah, that's interesting. They could be trying to just knock it down and hoping it's not a first-degree murder conviction. I'd have to go dig into what the penalties are for the lessers to see if that makes sense here. Okay, we're going to take a quick break here on the Law&Crime Network. When we come back, more live testimony in the McStay family murder case out of California. All right, some cross-examination there for this forensic evidence technician about just exactly where she wasn't looking for blood or other types of evidence in the home of this missing family. Donald Papcsy is still with me here on the Law&Crime Network. This goes back into effective cross-examination. The state's been making a big deal about these possible blood spatters on this missing family's table, and the defense is just basically saying, you didn't look very much of anywhere for anything that you should have been testing.
That's pretty much what he's doing there. I don't love the way he's doing it. I understand you have to lay a certain amount of foundation sometimes for pictures, but a lot of these pictures have already been introduced, already in evidence. He could just get to the point right away. You know, that you're looking at this picture, you don't see any blood here, do you? You didn't test for blood, did you? No. And then go right to the next one. So you're bang, bang, bang with the jury. And I think that really hits home a little harder.
It's basically forcing the state to admit, okay, well, the state's investigators are not going to be able to live up to their burden because they didn't do tests that would have potentially found more evidence here. So we're going to take a break here on the Law&Crime Network. I'll be signing off, but our live coverage of the McStay family murder case out of Southern California continues after this. We'll be right back.